Hey everybody, welcome to our Step Into Your Power call. We are super excited about this call tonight. Jill and I met Sheila. Well, actually, Jill's been friends with Sheila for a while. I met her just a few short months ago and attended a seminar that she did that for two, Jill and Sheila. Take it away, ladies.
Okay, so I'm Sheila Markowitz, and I am a certified licensed trainer with a company called Bank Code. And we teach people how to crack the codes of their prospects in 90 seconds or less. So Jill and Dawn are fans of our methodology. And so they asked me tonight to come on and share with you all about Bank and how it can help increase your business and increase your connections with your clients and potential clients. So I'm going to go to screen share. Can I do that?
Yes. I should be able to, down at the bottom. Like if you...
There we go. Yep. Where did it go? Okay. So while I'm working that out, I will just let you guys know that a little bit about me.
You got it.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
I have 20 years of, y'all have to pardon me while I'm looking for my little thing here. It went off the screen. So I have 20 years of experience, sales experience. I was in pharmaceutical sales, and I was also in the beverage industry. I sold beer for a living for the bulk of my career. And I was I was the first national sales manager that was female in my department at my corporation, which was a big deal in those days. I don't want to date myself, but back in those days, it was a big deal because there weren't very many women in the beer business. So it really created a path for people, and that's something that I absolutely love being able to create. And to also give people new ways of thinking about things. My PowerPoint's coming up. So we're going to talk tonight about why they buy. There's a lot of conversation. I'm going to skip this because we already went through this. There's a lot of conversation about selling skills, right? And Robert Kiyosaki says that the number one, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm having a little technical difficulty here. Okay, so the number one ability the ability to sell is the number one skill in business. And I want everyone to kind of reframe that in your mind, because sales gets a bad rap as far as what people think of it. Sales actually is anything that you are persuading or convincing somebody to take part in. Okay, that can be having your 5-year-old get their shoes on and get into the car. It could be convincing your husband that you need to put a large extension on the back of the house for your isogenics business. It can be anything. Zig Ziglar always said that everybody's in sales no matter what you're doing. So I want you to, kind of toss out that old thought process of sales as being manipulative and trying to convince people to do things, because that's not really what it is. So let's start with a different thought process. And I want to chat with you guys about a myth that has gone on for way too long. And that is, in order to get more yeses, you have to get more no's, correct? And that is what people and all of us have been taught over our time frame in sales. You have to go for no, you have to go for no, you have to go for no, you have to go for no. And if you're going for no, there's a reason why you're getting the no. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So with Bank, we believe that you should go for yes. And there's a proven way for you to get more yeses, and you don't have to worry about those no's anymore. Okay, anybody interested in that? Raise your hand. Anybody want to know how we can do that? Okay, great. So let's move on. So sales is not a numbers game, it's a people game. Okay? You can sell a widget to anyone. You can convince them to buy that widget. But really, especially with Isogenics, you're talking to people about their journey with their health. You're talking to them about a weight loss journey. You're talking to them about things that are so personal that it's not really about selling them the Isogenics bars or, the cleanse, which I've been doing. Yay, today was my cleanse day. About doing any of that. It's really about connecting with them in their way of thinking, okay? And getting them to come with you. Okay. So Brian Tracy says that all business is a people business. So we're going to talk about BANK. And BANK stands for Blueprint, Action, Nurture, and Knowledge Personality Types. Now, I believe everyone, for the most part, cracked their code. Raise your hand if you were able to crack your code online. Did everyone do that? Okay, great. So you saw how easy it was to crack your code, and then you got a report saying who you are, and then I believe Dawn maybe got the report, or Jill got a report back saying how they would sell to you. Wouldn't that be nice to know exactly how to deal with that potential client or that current client, or how to regain somebody who's fallen off? It's an amazing process. So let's move on from this. Okay, who's Sherry Tree? Sherry Tree is the founder and CEO of Bank Code. And Sherry was what she would call the worst salesperson in the world. She earned $700 her first year in sales, and she said that, the sad part was she was in the financial industry, and so she wasn't making money, and she wasn't convincing anybody that she could make the money. So she spent 5 years searching and searching for coaches and different methodologies on how to sell, and was able to increase her sales up to $72,000. And that was great, but she really wanted more. She's in action, and you'll know what that means in a few minutes. And she really wanted to create a massive passive income for herself. And so she started looking at how she could do that. How could she reverse engineer what's out there in order to help her get where she wants to go? Okay. And within 5 years of implementing this, she was a millionaire. And she still continues to be a millionaire implementing this practice. And it's super simple. All right. Who's obsessed with personality assessments? Who wants to know, the name tests on Facebook? I mean, I even do them because I want to know, who's my spirit animal? So let's talk about this. So a lot of people have done DISC, and a lot of people have done Myers-Briggs and the color code and different items like that. Okay, I think most of us done Myers-Briggs or DISC. A lot of companies do those assessments. So what's the difference, right? So why bank? Okay, so if you have DISC and you have DISC, okay, and you have bank, BANK, right? And you put them together, right? They're exactly the same, only different. So how can that be? What is really the difference? I mean, what are we offering as far as a thought process and a methodology that makes us that different? So this is personality science. You have your blueprints, your actions, your nurture, and your knowledge. And we have your bank codes, so I know pretty much what's going on in this call. So when you see yourself or you recognize yourself or somebody, I want you just to kind of raise your hand real quick when you see something about you. That way we can see what's going on out there. Okay, so this is not something that was just made up. okay, where we're like, okay, everyone's a blueprint, action, nurture, knowledge. This is actually based in Hippocrates' incorporation of the 4 temperaments in his practice back in 400 BC. Now, he called them horrible things like bile, blood, and just things that don't sound nice. However, he treated his patients according to their temperament. So he talked to them in their language to help them understand what needed to be done and how it needed to be done as far as his medical practice was concerned. So this is based in a long, long history of temperaments. Okay, so this is kind of a fascinating statistic and one that I think blows your mind. It's a 25-year-old statistic, which means that with all the personality programs, with everything that's out there, we're still going for no when the statistic is actually out there and nobody's paying attention to it. Only 18% of buyers will buy from a salesperson that doesn't match their personality type. That's a big deal. So if you're in your business, I can almost guarantee you that most of your clients are just like you. In 82%, there's only an 82% success when personality types aren't aligned, okay? So 82% of people that you talk to, you're not the same as, and they don't get it, and they walk away. So let's talk about how we can fix this. As Tony Robbins says, let your prospect determine your presentation. It's not about what you have to offer, it's about what you have to offer in their language. If you're going in to talk to a certain personality code, you need to frame isogenics in a way that they understand and that they are all on board with. I will tell you, some people do this naturally. Some people will be on this call and they will say, oh, I already do this. And that's probably somebody like Dawn, who just automatically does this. However, it's hard to teach this. So that's what we're here for. We're here to teach you guys how to replicate the success that you see other people having. Okay, so common mistakes. So again, if you are a personality code, you are delivering one of your presentations right only 25% of the time. So 25% of the time you're hitting the mark. 75% of the time, you're giving the wrong presentation. So if you've ever had the situation where you're talking to somebody and you feel like you're getting somewhere and then all of a sudden they're like, no, this doesn't make sense for me. We all know that feeling. We've all had it. And this is why. This is the whole reason why, because we weren't delivering the right presentation to our prospect. So let's talk about the bank system. Now I'm gonna dive in here to bank, and I'm gonna talk about 2 things. I don't normally do this, but I think it's super important for how you guys do your business, which is a lot online and Facebook groups and the way that you can communicate with people. So I'm gonna talk about the basics of each code, and then I'm also gonna talk about speed coding. And speed coding is the next level up from the fundamentals of knowing the codes and how to identify them by basically profiling people in a way that quickly assesses them and gets it so that you can then turn your presentation and your words to match them. Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about our first group of people. B for blueprint. So blueprint, you can see down at the bottom, it's a box. So I want you to think about people who are architects, who build the blueprint for your house, which you definitely want people who are following the rules, creating a plan, creating a system. This is very important. They value stability. They value budgets. They value that everything needs to be structured in a timely manner. If you are not a blueprint and you are late for an appointment, even by 5 minutes, you could potentially lose that client. Blueprints keep their time very structured. When you have somebody who says, I'm going to go to the gym at 6:30 in the morning every morning, most of the codes are not going to do that, but the blueprint will. Once they make the commitment, then that's what they're going to do. It goes on the schedule. It stays on the schedule. Couple things that to remember about blueprints is that there is a saying, rules are meant to be. If you're a blueprint, you will say followed. So when you're dealing with a blueprint client or blueprint team members, it's going to be vital that you create a system for them to follow, and that you are timely in your communication, and that you don't seem like you're all over the road. Because all over the road means risk. And risk is like, I mean, it's just like an alarm bell to a blueprint's personality. They do not want to do business with somebody who's going to be risky and not stable. So something to keep in mind. So how do you identify these people? Like, how would you know a blueprint if you met them, right? Here's some visual cues, and this is part of speed coding. The visual cues are usually you're going to find that blueprints are dressed very professionally. They love a sale. That's why, you know, Neiman Marcus, Last Call, and all those places are super popular. Okay. They're always file. Okay. We have a saying that bees file and the rest of them pile. Okay. You're also looking at the type of car that they would drive. They usually drive a car that has a high safety rating on it, that's low risk. They are also extremely organized. So if you're meeting with a blueprint, you do not want to be digging through your super messy purse, because they're going to start to look at you like, wow, this person is risky. They're unorganized. All right, let's go to the next one. Action style personality. Okay, so these people, it's red. It's red for a reason, because they're like little fireballs. They're constantly on the go. They are the people that are like, when you say rules are meant to be, they go broken. They're like, what rules? At the bottom here, we have the box. Okay, they're like, what box? Okay, the blueprints live in the box, and the action is like, what box? There's no box. These people are just out there doing their thing. They're having fun. They love to be the center of attention. They're the mover and shakers and millionaire makers. These people can tend to drive other codes nuts, because they're like, oh yeah, let's do this, let's do that, let's go here, let's go there. You can actually call these people with concert tickets at the very last minute, and they will go. They will actually rearrange everything, get a babysitter, and they will go to the concert, because that is fun. They do not want to be put into a system where they have to follow rules and be exactly the same way each and every day. What they value is freedom and financial freedom on top of all of that. So these are the people that you're going to see who are dressed in the high-end clothes. They're going to drive high-end cars. They're going to be the people who are talking about their Rolex watch and their Gucci sunglasses, because they want to be the center of attention all the time. All right. Visual cues, okay? They are Apple lovers. They also usually drive very high-end cars, or a car that would appear to be high-end at some level. They'll drive a Mercedes. Even if it's a used one, they'll still drive a Mercedes, because they want to have that brand name attached to them. You'll see them wearing all designer clothes, sunglasses. You'll always see something designer on them, because they want to brag that this is who they are. It matters to them, and it matters to other action style personalities when they're looking at someone. If you're a blueprint, and you're going to meet with an action style personality, you're going to have to up your energy. You're going to have to not worry about the rules, because they don't care about the rules, and they want to know the bottom line. That's it. How much is it? How much does it cost for me to do isogenics? How much weight am I going to lose in the next 30 days? Bathing suit season's coming. Let me know. Sign me up. They don't need an explanation. They just want to know what's in it for them and how's it going to work. Nurture. Nurture. Now, one thing I noticed on the code cracking is that we have a lot of nurtures, and I can see why isogenics draws in people who are nurturing. Nurturers love to help people. They love to be connected. Nurturers, you see that warm yellow color. These people have a heart of gold. The nurturers are very beloved human beings in this world. People love to be with them. They feel good when they're with a nurturer. And the nurturers are very highly connected. They have very large networks of people. So if you have a nurturer who's a raving fan of yours, they will open their entire network to you, and they will recommend you to everyone they know. Now, on the flip side, if you make a nurturer mad, they will shut their network down. So it's important to know how connected they are and that they like to feel valued. If you have nurturers in your downline, or you have nurturers as clients, you will want to make sure that they feel connected to you, they feel personally involved with you. That will keep them raving fans of you. Okay? And again, this is all top line. There's so much more available about each one of these codes. It goes very in depth, and it's an amazing process. And I'll talk about how you can learn that later. Visual cues of a nurturer. Okay, they drive the family car. Nurturers love to give hugs. If you have that friend that comes at you, hey, nurture alert. They love stuffed animals. If you go to a nurturer's house, they're always going to offer you something to drink. They're going to offer you something to eat. They usually have flowers around. So it's something, those are all visual cues that let you know who you're dealing with. And again, this is top line speed coding. The knowledge people. Okay. These are the beautiful minds of our world. They are the people that's green for knowledge. So you think about the matrix and all the data systems, everything that's going through. The box, as far as the knowledge people are concerned, they created the box because everybody else didn't ever think of it. They had to think of it. And then the blueprint lives in the box. And then the action explodes the box. And the nurture recycles the box. So as far as the Ks are concerned, they are all about what is amazing in this world. They are the people that have created the technologies that are out there that we all love to use. Without them, we wouldn't have gone to the moon. All of the engineers are the ones that created everyone to go to the moon. Can anybody guess who actually got in? What personality style actually went to the moon? Can anybody guess? Action, right? Yeah. I can tell you right now, the knowledge people were probably in mission control going, I hope this works. We think it works. I hope it works. And, Neil Armstrong's like, let's go. So you can see the difference. They're all about universal truths. And they also have to have scientific backup. So if you're working with somebody in your business who is knowledge driven, okay, that's their first that's their first code or their second one, they need to have all of the information before they will make a decision. And they will not make a decision quickly. They are going to need to look at all the research behind the isogenics products. They're going to need to have to process it. They're going to have about 42,000 questions about the product. So what you can do to help bring a knowledge person into your team or into your product line is to answer the questions very specifically and very evenly. You must take time to answer their questions, even though your code may be like, if they ask me one more question, my head's going to explode. How much more information could you possibly need? A lot. It's always a lot, but you will eventually, once they figure that this is exactly what you say it is, they will come on board. But you must be patient with this personality type, okay? All right, how do you identify in speed coding? Visual cues. Okay, again, technology, the drones, the electric cars, the Teslas. Ks love Teslas. The technology on the Tesla is insane as far as a K is concerned. You're looking also Apple Watches. I mean, the technology, they might not necessarily need the technology, but they're going to use it and they're going to have it so that everybody can see what they have. I will guarantee you that most knowledge types have an Android phone because the Apple phone is beneath them. Where the A's wouldn't have anything but an Apple phone, the K's will probably all have Android phones. It's a cue. Not all, but most. All right? So those are some visual cues about the knowledge type of personality. All right. One of the other speed coding things that Dawn and Jill and I had discussed is speed coding people's LinkedIn and Facebook profiles. Okay, this is a higher end speed coding function that you can learn in our virtual training system. And also that, that we can deep dive on if you're a virtual training subscriber. So this is Jim Garner. This is a miscellaneous person to all of you all. But Jim is, when you're looking at his profile, you're going to look at things very in depth. So you're looking here, I have a circle. You see Jim constantly with people, right? Crowds of people, all about the people. He has 4,484 friends. Who thinks that Jim is a nurturer? Jim's a nurturer, right? All right, so that's one thing to look at. Now here's where it gets a little tricky, right? You think, okay, Jim's a nurturer, that's cool. And then you start looking at his work history, okay? You start seeing, okay, he's an engineer, he's doing all types of high-end systems, and it looks like he's very blueprint, right? You look at his profile, he looks very blueprint, right? According to what we were saying. His blueprint is last. He's a nurture, knowledge, action, blueprint. And here's the clue. Do you see how many jobs Jim has had? How much he's skipped around? Okay. Blueprints do not do that. Blueprints tend to stay for long periods of time at jobs, and they are very stable. Remember, blueprints are stable. They follow the process. They follow the rules. Jim's bouncing all over the place trying to find his way in life. So when you see this, you know he is not a blueprint. Even though he looks like one, he's not. That's the nuances of what speed coding does. So if you had a client who came to you, like somebody, you know, PM'd you on Facebook and said, hey, my friend's doing isogenics, I want to talk to you. Before you would even talk to them, you would go to their profile and you would take a look at it. What are they talking about? What do they value? And then you could have a conversation with them and be able to have a more specific conversation that will be in their language. Remember, it's not about you, it's about them and their language. All right, and again, speed coding, we get into so much more with speed coding in our virtual subscription. Okay, so Les Brown, is anybody familiar with Les Brown? Raise your hand. Okay, so Les Brown is a huge supporter of bank code. And Les Brown says that bank is a game changer. It'll expand your selling skills and dramatically increase your income. Les Brown spoke at our national conference last summer and is also somebody that highly supports Sherry, our CEO. So with that said, I'm sorry, something came up here. So let's talk about what's going on here, okay? So we've talked about bank at a pretty surface level. So when you're talking about things, you have your conscious awareness. So now you guys have a conscious awareness that bank is out there and that you can actually shift the way that you're doing your business to create better results, higher income. And I will also tell you that this is not just about sales. This is also about relationships. Speed code your husband or your wife. That's interesting. And get back to me, because that's a whole nother topic. Speed code your kids. That's really interesting too, because what you think you have is maybe not what you have. Okay, so again, more ideas. Okay, so let's talk about like next steps. Like, what can you do to increase your knowledge about this? Okay, we have what is called our core subscription, and that is the fundamentals of the different codes. It deep dives you into each code so that you can then learn about it. We also have our Bank Nation Facebook group, and you would also get your white papers with that, which is going to be important for your Ks to know more information, okay, as far as any of my K clients out there always want the white paper. They actually read the white paper. The actions just want to know there is a white paper. They never read it. You also get Bank Pass. So every single one of you that's on the call, I believe tonight, did your assessment online with the Bank Pass. So the Bank Pass is part of this, where you can actually start to gather information about your team, about your clients, and then you can actually segment off, and I'll show you in a second what that dashboard looks like, how to actually communicate with your clients. So you could send out an action message to all your action people, or a blueprint message, and really be able to specialize your business at a completely different way. It'll really take you to the next level, okay? The core is a $14.97 value, has a $99 activation fee, and it's $29.95 a month for your Bank Pass, unlimited Bank Pass cracks. The Pro subscription is where we have the speed coding, all right? So the speed coding is what we talked about very surfacely. This goes deep dives into it, and when you're done with this, you will know how to speed code, and it will be utterly fascinating. You will never be able to shut it off as long as you live with anybody you meet or see. It also has our power calls in it so that you can take bank on the road. You can listen to it when you're working out, you can listen to it in your car, and you can really get very deep into it. And it also includes all of the core. Excuse me, we slipped up one more. Okay, let me go back. So the Pro is an $89.97 value with a $99 activation fee and $29.95 a month. Okay. Then we have the Platinum. The Platinum includes the Pro, the Core. It includes our Millionaire Map, which is an amazing, amazing program that literally teaches you how to map out your success path. We also have Sales Velocity, which will teach you how to increase your sales and how to look at it from a completely different perspective. We have Coin, which is the Networking Mastery System. And that is really important, especially in the business that you all are in. It's not just about closing somebody into the Isogenics program. It's also about creating your network and your centers of influence and the people that can actually recommend your clients to you. And that's also very important. Your referral network is huge and is very valuable. And then you also get what we haven't talked about tonight, which is power scripting. We call this the crown jewel of our program. And this is where you learn how to actually script or talk to people in all 4 codes. Actually, there's 24 specific codes, but you can learn how to talk to people in the different codes. And this is a big deal, so that you could actually script yourself to talk to a nurture, action, blueprint, knowledge, and have specific scripts for each one of those people. So when you talk to them, you're talking to them in their language. How awesome would that be to do that? All right, so you get all of this with your Platinum subscription, okay? The Platinum subscription is $19.97 value with a $99 activation fee and the $29.95 a month for the Bank Pass, okay? This is your Bank Pass. Everyone did this online, so you see they cracked their code very easily. I make it a requirement for anybody I'm working with to crack their code first, and that's how you use this. If somebody wants to work with you, you say the first thing I want to do in order for me to better serve you and to save some time is for you to crack your code. And they will do it. They will get their report, and you will get a report on them. And it will absolutely fundamentally change your business. This is what the dashboard looks like in Bank Pass, okay? It'll show you how many codes you've cracked. It'll show you who are you attracting. Are you attracting mostly nurturers? You're attracting action, knowledge people? Then you will get the codes here lined up with the names, email, so you can email straight from here to them. You will also get a report that's not reflected here, but there's a report that has how to sell to them. You can also come up here and you can segment them. So let's say that it's, you know, pumpkin shake time again, and you can send out to them, hey, limited quantities, or hey, there's going to be a process in order for everybody to order this for your blueprints and for your nurtures. Hey, it's that time of year. You don't want to miss out. Everyone's going to have it. So you want to be able to script accordingly, and that's what the Bank Pass does for you. If nothing else tonight, I would suggest that you absolutely get the Bank Pass. The Bank Pass will change your business, and it's $30 a month, and it is so worth it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do tonight. Dawn and I talked about some things, and it's she finds this to be so vital to her business as she's implementing this, that she wanted to make sure that I gave you guys really good deals tonight. She like squeezed me for it. So I want you guys to thank Dawn. So our special offer is for today only. For the next 24 hours, I'm going to make it, okay, because I know it's a little late and I don't know what time zones people are in. So we're going to waive the $99 activation fee for the Bank Pass, which then just makes it $29.95 a month, okay? If you're only going to do Bank Pass, then we can't waive the activation fee. But don't worry about that. The core program is going to be $497, okay? That's $42 a month investment, plus the $99 activation fee is waived, plus you get the Bank Pass, okay? The Pro is going to be $997, and that's basically evens out to about $83 a month. And the Platinum is $1997, which comes out to about $167 investment over 12 months per month. But that's not good enough for Dawn. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, so here's the extra bonuses. Whoops, excuse me. Okay, so tonight when you buy the Pro, which is the speed coding, and the Platinum, okay, and I never do this with the Pro, okay, so we are going to gift you a live training class with the fundamentals and the speed coding January 5th and January 6th. Okay, so if you are in the Washington, D.C. area, we will gift you that. Or you just fly in for it. It's well worth it. All right, and that's a $1997 value. I charge $1,000 a day for that event per person. Okay, all the VT, if you do the virtual training investment, any of them, including core, we're going to offer a deep dive Zoom call for this team once a month for the next 3 months. So I will come on and I will work with you through the different pieces of bank fundamentals and speed coding, and as well as power scripting, so that you are getting the most out of your subscription and that you're able to utilize this in your business, okay? And that is a $1,500 value. So the total bonuses tonight are a value of $3,596. So that is all the bonuses that Dawn squeezed me for, which I would love to give you guys. And she really feels like the value in this, as well as Jill, is so fundamentally empowering for your business that she wants me to make sure and offer this to you, okay? The other thing is, okay, on November 30th, we are very lucky, very, very lucky to have Sherry Tree come to the Washington, D.C. area. She is going to be giving a presentation November 30th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Lakewood Country Club. She is highly sought after as a speaker, so I feel very privileged that she's coming to our market area. And she speaks with Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki, Sir Richard Branson. She was at a major financial conference last week, and she shared the stage with George Bush Jr. So she heads up the big stages. She speaks in front of thousands and thousands of people, and she is coming to our area so that she can meet all of our clients. We are super excited about this. So the tickets are $97. That's a $50 discount from a $147. Or if you guys can get together a table of 6, then the price drops to $83, and that also includes lunch. Okay? So you can text, PM, or call Jill, and Jill will kind of coordinate the tables and then get back with me so I can register everybody, okay? Space is limited. We have over 125 people already coming to this event, and we still have a month until the event comes, so we're going to have we are going to be in sellout. So I just want to make sure that you guys can come in and learn from the master herself. She is not boring. She's super entertaining, and she's hilarious, and you will love it. So that is also available, okay? So if you're interested in any of these packages, you can PM Dawn or Jill, and they will send you over to me, and I will make sure that I get you suited up for virtual training, and then I'll also know who's going to be in our monthly deep dive calls, and also in our live training programs, which will collectively by January, you will be pretty close to being an expert if you invest in this. And I promise you that we will make sure that we're not just handing you a virtual training program. And by the way, the virtual training program is done on a platform where Sherry is teaching you step by step. She is also guiding you, so depending upon how you answer questions is where you go to the next piece. So it's a very, very intense virtual training platform that is not just kind of like, here's some slides and this is what we're doing and answer the questions. It is truly a one-to-one training program. All right, so lots of people cracked their code. Jill, if you're on here, do we have a winner for the set of value cards tonight?
I am on here, and I actually have not done the drawing because of sick child at home. Dawn, were you able to do the drawing? If not, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll announce it in the morning.
Okay. All right. So so Jill will announce this in your group tomorrow morning, and then I will send out a set of the value cards. And the value cards are something that you can use. They're just, these are my kids' cards, but these are the value cards. and they're something that you can hand someone when you're with them live and have them code themselves. You just tell them, can you please put these in order to what's most important to you, to what's least important to you. This will help us, this will help me better serve you and save us some time. And then they just put them in order. And then guess what? You now know how they think. So the cards are also available independently, and if you're interested, just let Jill or Dawn know. And the cards are $20 a set, or you could do 4 for $100. That's fine too. 4 sets for $100. I also have kids cards. These are the kids cards. The adults cards look like this, so you can let me know what you would like. And again, we can coordinate all of that. Just let Dawn and Jill know what you want, and they will be back in touch with me. Okay? So all of the bonuses are available for the next 24 hours, so until 10 p.m. tomorrow night. And if you're interested, again, just message everybody, message Jill and Dawn, and she will direct you to me so that we can then get you set up and get you started. So I want to thank you guys for attending tonight, Why They Buy. I hope everyone found great value in this. I know Dawn's been using this, and so is Jill. And we're running over time, so I don't want to go any longer. But if you guys have anything left that you want to input, we'd love to hear from you. Or any questions, please let us know. You can type it in the box, and I'll be more than glad to answer them. I think, Jill, are you on the chat?
Yes, I am. I totally am. And one other thing, we did compile everybody's codes on like a spreadsheet, and we're going to share that with the group tomorrow so you can see who you match up with and just see it all in one picture, because I think it's very interesting, like Sheila said, to see who's common, who has the same code, and how many ins there are, and just sort of the trends in this team.
Yeah, which are very interesting. I think you guys are going to find it a really cool conversational piece.
I would just say a couple things to pull it together at the end, and this is what I saw when I looked at all the team's codes, and what kind of struck me really is, you know how people all the time say, oh, I could never do what you do. I'm not a salesperson, right? And we have all these different responses. Oh, it's not sales, it's sharing. And oh, you don't need to be a salesperson. I'm not a salesperson, right? I'm not. And here's the data. The data is that we've got, I think 30, I don't remember exactly, like 32 people that did the test. Yeah. We had 15 nurturers, the yellows. So that was the majority. 15 were nurturers. I don't know, Sheila, I sent you the numbers. I don't have them in front of me anymore. Yeah. It was like 15 nurturers, 9 actions, 7 blueprint, and 3 knowledge, something like that, right?
Yep.
Right. So the significant ones was not the action, which you would think that salespeople would be, right? Would be action. I think they would be action, right? They're not action, they're nurturers. And not only that, the majority of the nurturers, they weren't your NA, because you would think maybe A would be up with the nurturers if you had a salesperson. They're not NAs, they're NBs. Their nurture blueprint was the majority. Yep. That was the one that the most people had in common. It was nurture, blueprint, and then either action, knowledge, or knowledge action. Mm-hmm. And what does that tell you? That tells you that it's people who like to connect, like to support, like to help other people, right? They're all about people, and they like there to be a process. And we've got lots of processes. We've got schedules. We've got a cleanse day schedule and a shake day schedule, and how you do this, and right? And so I thought that was really interesting. But big picture overall, when somebody tells you, oh, I could never do isogen, I could never do what you do because I'm not in sales. Like, well, the rest of our team isn't in sales either, and that's what the data said. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was really interesting, and honestly, it's completely diverse. When Jill's going to publish the everybody's code, so you can see after that. So I'm a nurture knowledge. I'm a nurture knowledge. I'm a nurture knowledge blueprint action. Action is my last code. And when Sheila met me, she's like, yeah, no way your last code is action, right? Because she'd just seen me speak to you before. Like, yeah, your codes are all messed up. You're not action last, but actually, Sheila, I don't know if I told you, I actually did the 25 question one, the more in-depth one, and action definitely is not my but it's how you define action. Like there's reasons for that because.
Well, your nurture really feels connected and passionate.
Well, my nurture and my knowledge was super high too. It was like 23 out of 25 because it's all about, because I'm a big picture. I'm a big picture person, and I don't do anything until I know the whole picture. And there's a couple reasons why my knowledge one was really high, and I love to learn too. So like I'm all input and learning. When I did Path Strength Finders, I was all input and learning and everything. So super interesting. But I've really been paying attention to this. I have the cards, so I carry them with me in my phone. I keep them with me in my phone wherever I go, and I used it. I was just at a conference last weekend, and I was having people do it like at the lunch table and talking about it just because I think it's really interesting. I just think it's really, I love relating to people, and I love learning more about people, and then looking at, how that impacts my interaction with them to make it better. And so I was kind of practicing there, if you will, right? Just trying to get my groove on and get it to be more natural for me when I was doing it, and so that I could pass out the cards and feel comfortable doing it. But I just think there's I know we're going really super late, and I did this really quick. If you think about this, I'll do it in like a minute. If you think about this, if you're talking to a blue, if you're doing isogenics, you're trying to enroll somebody in isogenics, and you're talking to a blue, then you want to tell them the budget, that there's schedules for everything. You're going to tell them exactly how to do it, all the steps. Like you want to assure them that there's a system, there's guidelines, they're going to get exactly what they need. When you're talking to a K, you want to tell them there's research, the Skidmore studies, all the ingredients and the ISA product. You can look at the ingredients, right? Be very specific. Come prepared. And you can see these on the sheets when you look at the sheets. Know your stuff and know where the research is to send them to it. You don't need to know if you're in action and you don't know any of that stuff, at least know where to send them. The action people, how long before I look good in my bikini? That's what they want to know. They are image. They are get it done. They're like, they don't care. I mean, these are generalizations. So everybody if you're one of these things and this doesn't fit for you, these are kind of generalizations, but I'm trying to make a point. So action people, they're like, let's go. Yeah. And, let's do it. Okay. Yeah. Don't tell me about whey protein. I just don't care. I want to look at my bikini, right? And the nurture people, when you have that conversation with them, you make sure you ask about their family. How are the kids? What's going on? If you don't connect with the nurture people first, it's already over.
Yes.
It's already over, and you can't salvage it because you went right to your pricing and your ingredients or whatever you think is important to you. Well, what's important to them is connected. So if you skip that piece, you've really kind of screwed it up.
Yeah.
So just those basics right there, knowing those basics right there, that's kind of how I think about it and why I think it's important to know. And Tara and I have had this experience recently and figured out that, somebody that we were dealing with, that we were struggling with in a situation, we realized that it was because that person was a knowledge person and we weren't relating in that way. And so it gives you a lot of insight. And I think it just gives you another tool in your tool belt. So we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much, Sheila.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Did a way better job than I ever could because, I just think it's fun and, do it. And so Sheila, bless her soul, has done a lot of studying. I am going to the training. I actually delayed my flight out to Influencer Summit so that I could go to this training on November 30th and learn more. And Jill's coming with me, and I think Tony's coming with me too. So I think we already have 3 seats of a table of 6. So we'd love for anybody who's interested to come and join us. And then again, all the stuff that Sheila put together, all the package for us. I told her that for our team, what I thought was going to be really important and what we would like, I should only speak for myself because what I think is really cool and really important is being able to go to somebody's Facebook or LinkedIn profile and speed code them. And so she's trying to, that's usually a really high-end product that they don't offer, but she's trying to get that piece to our team if it's something that you're interested in, because I told her it was something I was interested in, so she's trying to make it work for me, I guess. But So just let us know. Let us know if any of this is of any interest. But we're going to wrap it up and say good night. Thanks again, Sheila. Thanks for your help.
Thank you.
Thank you for coordinating and putting it together and working with Sheila and bringing all this information to us. Really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. And my Maui people, stay on the call. I know we don't have a lot of time, but I have a lot of notes that I want to share with you. I have a lot of ideas. So stay on the call.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you.